Okay, so it's 3 o'clock p.m. in Denmark, probably a.m. for some of you guys. Welcome and happy to have you here. And I'm saying welcome because my name is Bertel. I'm the one who've been annoying you with the invitations and links and emails. And so my partner in crime is gonna be Christian Korsgaard today. He's a cherished member of our development department and the expert in this field.
The workflow of setting up a new customer will always begin in the service center. If you do not have access to the service center already, you need to contact us so that we can give you access. Because in the service center, we have this this menu item called user settings, and in here we have 4 different widgets for now. More is coming. And the last one down here is called create customer. So when you need to create a customer, you need to go into the service center, go into user settings, and then navigate to the create customer widget. Some of you might have this dealer input field here. I do because I have access to the entire system. If you do not, then it's simply because you cannot choose a sub dealer. That's nothing you have to worry about. I'm just going to select one here as an example. So now I'm emulating one of our internal dealer accounts called development, and I can create a new customer called test customer, for example. And when I hit submit, that customer exists in the system. So now I might want to change the tablet and the robot that I want to move to my newly created customer. And I do this in this connect devices widget. I choose my tablet. In my example case here, it will be 308. That's the number that is printed on the back of the tablet or in the about section in the app. And for the robot, that's just the robot ID, again in the about section in the app or printed on the side of the robot. And then I will select my customer, but first I'm just going to select the dealer. Again, you might not see this this field, don't worry. And my newly created test customer. And when I hit submit, my tablet 308 is now paired with robot 4 on the customer test customer. You need to do this every time you create a new customer, and if you have showcased the robot at a customer site without having done this beforehand, your layouts will then of course be on the account that you showcase the robot with. So to move the layouts from that account to the newly created customer account, you need to go to the app. I'm going to share a special one I have here. You might notice some changes. This is actually a preview of the upcoming feature version, which we are going to call version 9.0, with a bright new white top bar. It works more or less the same. In the top left corner, I have the settings. This looks a little bit more familiar. Then I will navigate down to the dealer menu, which you should know by now. And in the apps that you have right now, there will be a button called Give Pitches to Customer. In the upcoming app, that has been removed and replaced with this button called Move Layout Wizard. There are some things that are much better with this wizard. You don't have to move yourself to the customer you don't have to move your app a couple of times around for moving the layouts. You can do everything from this wizard. So I'm going to show it to you. You don't have access to it right now, but you will have access to it in version 9 or version 9.1. It's still in slightly early development, so there are a couple of bugs at the moment, but these will of course be ironed out before you get hold of it. So to move layouts to our newly created customer, we click the Move Layout Wizard. I want to move, sorry, this should of course say layouts. I want to move my layouts from me as a sales representative. My account is this one called KK. I'm going to click that. Then I'm going to be presented with a map. And now I can navigate to my layouts. I have a lot here. And I can click the layouts that I want to move. I can also move use some of the shortcuts I have down here. Select all on screen or select all. I'm not going to click this one because I have a lot of layouts and this will take a while then. The select all on screen will only select templates that are fully visible on the screen. So you can see this one is selected, but this one up here is not. But if I navigate in a way so that these are fully visible on the screen and click select all, it will select all of those that are fully visible on the screen. Now to move the layouts to our newly created customer, I will click the Give To button, navigate to that customer. It is here, test customer. Click it, and now they are moved. One of the bugs we see here is that they are actually still visible out here. But if we click done and navigate to our site, they have been moved. That's more or less it for the flow of creating a new customer. You need to, in the service center, create the customer, connect the tablet and robot together to that customer, and then on the app, go to the settings, dealer menu, move layout wizards, and then do the thing that I just showed you. That's actually more or less it for this presentation right now. Yeah, so Bal, what do you think? Should we move on to the Q&A session?
Yeah, thanks, Christian. I think that was really good. And it's, well, for me, I just have to say there's some big important improvements from a customer point of view, that you can see the layouts that were created at a demo that you need to buy access to, and that the dealers can finally move the layouts a little bit easier. So
yeah, exactly. One of the improvements on the new app is that you can actually, as you can see here, you can actually see layouts that you do not have access to but have been created on your account, or the customer account. So I don't have access to this Australian football field, but I do have access to the soccer field down here. If I click the soccer field, it's going to behave as it normally would. But if I click the Australian football field, I will get a message saying that the layout is locked and that I need to purchase the Australian football template group. And now if I go to this because I'm a developer, I get it for free, and I can just click get. And now I have Australian football. Oh. There we go. Small bug. And I have Australian football here. And now I have only access to 2 more template groups down here. You should all, by this point, be familiar with this page. That's some of what I talked about, is that you can hide entire template groups, or you can go into the template groups and hide specific templates. So, for example, if I hide the soccer group, one second.
It should be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if I hide my soccer templates, they won't be shown, and I cannot create them in my new fields button down here.
Exactly. So for some people this is going to be relevant, for some it's going to be super useful, but of course it's good to know that the option is coming. Yeah. So I think, Christian, we should open up and see if someone has got some questions for the presentation, and go into more detail. And if not, I know you've got a couple of new features as well that you could show. But I think we should just see if anyone would have some questions regarding the layout and template and the tiny world and all the correlations it's made up of. Yeah, I see Roy raised his hand, and I don't know if Roy's mic is working now, but Roy, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm all good now.
Yeah, good.
If I have a sport and a pro, I put all the layouts down for football, rugby, athletics, etc. with the pro. Can I then mark them with the sport?
You can, if the tablet connected to the sport have access to those template groups.
So I need to buy those.
Yes.
To be able to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
I don't know. Sorry. No,
yes.
Go ahead.
Oh, did you want to say something, Bertel? I can wait.
No, I just realized that there is one comment to that question from Roy, that if we're talking multiple sports, I believe the cap is 4. Then I know that other options are available, and that you can actually use crisscross the templates. I don't want to get into it now, but I just want to make you aware that is an option, and it's not going to be very regular. But I'd like to follow up on it and come back to you. I think I'll do a recap of all the questions that we get in here. So let me just get that clarified. I just wanted to comment on it. Raf, you go ahead.
Yes. The question I had is, will the feature show customer jobs in the new software stay on? That we can, if we have to help a customer with our demo robot, for instance, or a replacement robot, that we can get all the jobs that will show customer jobs? That is in the new, yes, okay.
Sorry, what does it show customer jobs mean?
We don't, just to answer Ralph first, we don't have any plans of removing the show customer jobs checkbox. And for Lorenzo, the show customer jobs, if you click it, you will show on your map all of the layouts that your customers have created, but it's in a hierarchical manner. So if your tablet is logged in as the dealer account, or if your tablet is add on to the dealer account and you click this, you will be able to see all of your customers' layouts. If you are using a sales representative account, this won't really do anything for you because you, as a sales representative, are actually a customer of your dealer organization yourself. So you won't see the customer layouts.
So am I a sales representative or a dealer?
That depends on what is stated in the service center when you look up the tablet that you use. I can maybe show it here. Let me just find a quick example. So this is the test robot that I was using before. I moved it to the test customer under the development dealer. If the name to the left is the same as the name to the right, the tablet, the robot is on the dealer account, and the same is for the tablet. If the name on the left is the same as the name on the right, the tablet is on the dealer account. So if I use my 308, that's also on the test customer. If I move that 308 to the developer test dealer account, like so. Now, if I with my test tablet show all of the customer layouts, I will see all of the layouts made by anyone in the development organization. So if you move your tablet to the Outmo organization, for example, and then click the show customer layouts, you will see all of the layouts on your map for the entire Outmo organization.
Okay. Is that answered that question? I think Raf has raised his hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Regarding to the same subject, or is in our service center, we can only choose, and perhaps it's my fault, and therefore the question, between dealer and normal. So the only thing is we choose dealer at our level, and we choose customer as soon as we deliver a robot to a customer. But we have no sales representatives, or so there's only dealer or normal. So perhaps I need to do an update, or so if
that's the change tablet user level part that you're talking about.
Yes, sorry.
We have in general 3 levels right now. We have development level, dealer level, and normal level.
Okay.
Developer level is not actually for anyone else other than the TinyLineMarker Robots development department. But there are some of you that have been acquainted with the developer menus, because there are some hidden gems in there that we sometimes need to support you or your customers. So for any one tablet, you as dealers can only select dealer or normal level. And that's simply because the developer level can be quote-unquote dangerous. If you at any point need developer level, that's up to the support department to to take a stance on.
Okay, yes, perhaps I understood it wrongly. So if we want to have a sales representative, we need to create a new customer. That would be then the sales representative with the robot number and tablet number connected to the sales representative. I thought it was okay. Okay, very good.
And that's also it's a naming convention that might introduce some small confusion. Is that we have dealer level. That's what you can access menu items. What kind of menu items you can access on the app. That's the green menu items that you are familiar with. But we also have the dealer account. That's the actual account that the tablet and robot are connected to. That's two different things that we, in everyday speech, just call dealer. And therefore, slight confusion sometimes.
Can I ask one more question regarding this subject?
Of course.
Yes, you spoke about you have in the presentation you have the dealer and you have the customer.
Yeah.
But as you know, we are working in a few countries, and for us it could be interesting that there is a sub dealer, because we have some partners in France, for instance, who have their customers and with all their pitches. So it could be now we need to put them on the X-Plane level because they are using demo robots and they want to have all the pitches in there. So that it could be, it's just a question. It could be interesting to have a sub dealer or a partner subcategory underneath.
Yeah, I understand, and it's technically feasible. It's something that we try to avoid general confusion when organizing things. It's also a policy that we try to follow. So for your case, and probably also for Outmo with regard to different states, there might be something that we can talk about that there. But I think we should do that on a personal basis and not in this forum to tailor the experience to your specific needs.
But yeah, that is definitely something that would want to be fixed in the US. Like that needs to be adjusted.
And just for my personal understanding, Lorenzo, could you give me the example of a US state setup where you've got Outmo as a not national dealer, but statewide? Then you've got specific states where you've got sales reps, and then you've got the customers underneath. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's how it's set up with Outmo. So like, I'll have my specific states and my customers, and so I'm going to want to either give them assistance or be able to access them. Again, the confusion is whether I'm a sales representative or a dealer. So.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, if I may jump in here, I was also going to kind of bring that up. I think with Outmo, as we bring our new locations online, we would like to know who the point of contact would be to set up service center. I know Lorenzo, unless I'm mistaken, doesn't have service center login. I don't, and many other folks don't. So may we ask who the point of contact is, and then we can pursue this discussion offline.
I think you can. I think you should contact the support mail just so that we have it on file, and then we'll take it from there. Otherwise, you can call Jens Peder or Carsten, and they will plan out either a meeting or something similar to get you organized.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Does everybody know the support email? It's just support@tinymobilerobots.com.
That's an open question.
Okay. Well, then I'm glad I asked it.
The answer is no, but we do now.
Good.
Can someone from Tiny Mobile Robots please confirm that that is in fact the correct email address? Because I'm in marketing, so I wouldn't know.
It is.
Good.
It is.
Awesome.
It is
Good.
support@tinymobilerobots.com.
Yeah. Good. I think that of course, when we are dealing with a global network of resellers who have their own market structures and ways of organizing their work, we're gonna need to have these discussions. But to bring it back to the focal point, this was the presentation of the general setup of the way that things are structured from our very egocentric point of view, and then of course you need to translate it into a way that you can work with it. But I think that needs to be on a more separate level, discussing the options for the states and how you can tailor it to your market. But in terms of the general setup and the way things are working, are there any more questions to layout, templates, access? I hope it's been clear to everyone, especially this point of moving layouts around, because I can see how that could be a big problem if a demo layout is not accessible at some point when the lead turned into a customer because it wasn't correctly set up. So just want to make sure that is clear to everyone. And just so you know, we're going to share a recording of this Q&A as well. So if you're thinking of a colleague who would benefit from hearing all this, we'll be sure to get that over to you, and I'll put it in writing, the questions as well, so you can share it internally. Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to these layouts, how does it work if a customer has multiple robots and they say, is it going to be related to so say robot breaks down, they need to use a different robot on this field. Will it still work because the tablet is connected?
Yes.
Or how does this work? Is it based on the tablet or the robot?
I understand that it's confusing, and unfortunately I actually don't have a clear graphic of how that actually works. But the customer account owns the template groups. So given a customer that only owns sport robots, say that they only own one sport robot, if that robot needs to get maintenance and they get a replacement unit, they will still have access to all of their layouts because the account, the customer itself, owns the template groups, and therefore the templates, and therefore the layouts. And the layouts are in turn also saved directly on the customer. And that's the same, of course, if they have 2 sports or 3 sports and whatnot. If the customer owns a Pro, you shouldn't see it as the Pro robot owns the template groups, because the robots, by definition, doesn't actually have anything to do with the template groups. But when a tablet is paired with a Pro robot, that automatically gives access to all of the template groups, as long as the tablet is paired with the Pro robot. If the tablet is unpaired with any robot, or if the tablet is repaired with a sport robot, that tablet will only have access to the template groups that the customer owns.
So can a tablet be attached to a Pro and a sport?
No, a tablet can only be attached to one robot at a time. A robot can have multiple tablets attached to it.
Okay.
But I guess, Lorenzo, you're also asking if you could switch this tablet from a Pro to a Sport? Because then, Christian, it will still only be connected to one robot.
Yes.
Is that what you're asking, Lorenzo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can interchange tablets, robots, customers all the time with the service center, with the Connect Devices widget that I showed you earlier. As long as a tablet is connected to a Pro robot, that tablet will have access to all of the template groups. As long as the tablet is connected to a Sport robot, they will only have access to the template groups that have been purchased.
There. Okay. And what if? So I'm just trying to think of this facility. So they do multiple. They do about 5 different sports.
Yeah.
And it's very common for them to have one of their turf tanks go down. Do they have to move layouts around? Do they have to move layouts around, or how does?
No, because layouts, that depends a little bit on the configuration. But if it's one organization with one customer account, as I've been calling it, the layouts are saved to that customer account, and the template groups are owned by that customer account. So if that customer owns 5 robots and all of those robots are connected to that single customer account, all of the tablets attached to that customer account have access to all of the layouts and all of the template groups.
Unless it's connected to a Sport robot.
Sorry, yes, I misspoke. They have access to all of the template groups that they have purchased, of course, if it's connected to a Sport robot. If it's connected to a Pro, if one tablet is connected to a Pro, that one tablet has access to all of the template groups, regardless of if the customer have purchased the template groups or not. So you should see it as if it's the Pro robot that temporarily gives access to all of the template groups.
So I just want to jump in here that we have a turf tank customer in Denmark with 4 robots and maybe 200 fields, and they sold the turf tank robots and bought ours because now they have access to all fields in all 4 robots from us because it's 4 Pro they bought. So that's. That makes their life much easier because they can just switch around between all the robots, interchange it, and it's a big and very strong function in our robots that we have a backup in the cloud and we can switch around. I mean that they automatically have access to all the layouts in all the robots as long as it's Pro. And of course, if they're buying sports, there will be some of the layouts that will not work if they haven't bought that. I mean, if they didn't buy lacrosse, the sport will not work on that. But I think for many customers, this is about that it's all layouts are available on all robots. It's a huge benefit.
Yeah, and that's my question. Yeah, is it really easy to switch from one robot to the next?
Yeah,
or do we have
all
to go
robots
back
have the same? Yeah.
Okay.
If it's the same customer, I mean that was one customer who's buying 5 robots, then he would have access to all layouts on all 5. Yes, so that's you don't feel you switch, you just use the same. Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah. You don't have to go back in the service center and move layouts around to each other. It's just available for all of those tablets in the Pros. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
But I totally understand your question, Lorenzo, because at the one hand, we're saying that templates and layouts follow the customer and are tied to one customer. At the same time, we're saying that if you connect this tablet to this robot, that would give access to other template groups. So I think this is both a theoretical exercise in what we're doing now, talking and discussing about how it's set up in the virtual world, but it's also about going out there, working with it. Whenever you see something that you don't understand, please know that we're here to answer the questions, and we're always trying to set this up in a way that it makes sense to you and to your customers. And like like we can see here, there's going to be some, global differences in what makes sense to whom. So all this to say, we're very interested to know whenever you come across something that you say, hey, this is not ideal, please let us know. Perhaps we're able to fix it, perhaps we're not. We have to do it later, but we're always eager to know how you feel about working with the system. Yeah. And then Kip had a question in the chat if we've considered online training videos for dealers. And I replied, yes, we have, and we've done it a little bit in the past, but the thing is that the software keeps evolving at a very rapid pace. So we're always jumping in and updating those materials, which is why we've had the discussion. Would it be better to just set aside, like, I don't know, bi-monthly 1 hour sit down with our dealers and go through the app live to show you the latest updates? We're trying to notify you by email as well, but that only goes so far in terms of screenshots and words. So we're still considering what's the best way to give you to keep you updated on the software side and the robot side and how they integrate. Yeah, but it's a good input, Kip, and thank you for it. I see we've hit the 1 hour mark. Are there any other questions that you'd like to raise now?
Outside of the layouts, or what is this, like open questions?
Oh yeah, I'm afraid to say just shoot, because I don't know what you've got, but go ahead, Lorenzo, if we can do it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so one was just kind of like a layout question we ran into yesterday. Lots of times, and I don't know, maybe, and now you brought up a good subject from in this instructions, different field layouts, but like our college soccer layouts have these hash marks for corner kicks that people, and I thought I saw them on all the fields, but they're just outside of the normal field, kind of behind the goal nets, the goal area. We just call them hash marks here. How would we go about? I mean, we do have the access to just having the lines, but is that something we can do, or is that one of those things where it's a US only line? And what does it take to get those added in? Because I know that will come up on every college and MLS field.
We do have constant updates to templates because there are always new requirements in all sorts of different cases. If you feel like there's something missing, you should write the support mail with whatever information that you have got, preferably with a lot of measurements, because usually we get a request for some template change and there are no measurements or poor measurements attached to those changes. And we need very, very precise measurements to make our very precise machine. So if you need to change, if you need a change or an addition to a template, write the support mail and the support guys will forward it to the correct people. And then in turn those people will maybe contact you to get some more clarification or something.
Okay, perfect. And it sounds like there's a lot more layouts than I had realized.
I think up and counting, we have maybe 350 to 400 different configuration of layouts, notwithstanding the smaller checkboxes spread across the entire globe.
You guys mean templates?
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a ton. So do we have Quidditch? So is Quidditch out there as a template?
That's a good question.
We have
that's
British,
one that's
yes.
become really popular.
I don't know if it's in the US.
It should be part of the basic templates, I think, because it's sort of like an outlier. Let me just check it.
So when Christian is looking, I would like just to say about templates. that the policy is that we don't do specific adjustments for one customer, but if there's a group of customers that need something like what you are explaining, Lorenzo, then of course that's what we're doing. So if you sort of come back to the support mail, as Christian explained, telling that you have hundreds of customers, potential customers in the state or in the area waiting for this hash marks or something like that, that's of course something we will give priority.
Totally. Versus just one customer. Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes we have a customer coming, can you make this logo for me? And normally we say no.
Yeah.
We can do some special logos if it's a big marketing effort with a possible or longer attention or something. But normally we say no to specific logos. The reason that we say no is also that the cost of making a logo and to get that working for a customer is very high, and our estimate is that the customers, when they find out what the cost is, they would probably say they're not interested. So that's actually why we quite often upfront say no to logos. But template changes that make sense for a number of customers, that's where we are moving fast.
Yeah, especially when it's like a standard a standard required line.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Now you guys have me questioning everything I know about soccer. Maybe these lines don't exist in the whole world. So I don't know. So
we'll see. You send it to support, and then we'll have a look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, and please also send the question about Quidditch to support. I can actually see that it exists in the system, but hasn't been assigned to you guys. I'm a little bit unsure why. So I would like to just talk with the people responsible to make sure that there isn't some grueling mistake in it or something like that. So if you could just write it up in an email to the support mail, then we'll handle it from there.
But I understand there's a need for Quidditch in US, so I guess we'll add it to US if it's not there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We need to look a little why it's not there already.
Exactly.
It could be a geographic thing too. I don't know. Nick or Kip could tell us, but like we have leagues here in Utah, but I don't know. Maybe you don't have that in the east part of the U.S. I don't know. It kind of happens that way. Like lacrosse was really big back in the east until it finally moved across the United States. So there's still some of that going on, you know, cultural movements. So, but yeah, that's great. I'll send those on.
Good. Okay, awesome. I see Nick had to jump off, and I know other people need to get started on their day as well. So why don't we wrap it up? We'll be in touch, and thank you guys so much for participating.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
That's great.
Yes, thank
Have a
you.
good day, all. Thank you.
Yes, bye.
Bye.
Yes, bye.